Right now, from snow to sun, what a difference a week makes here in Wisconsin. Chris is tracking your farmers market Saturday forecast and our next chance for showers. And you now have yet another reason to talk money with your teens. Teen credit card use is on the rise. What parents need to know. Plus, thinking globally while acting locally, how you can help make a difference in the lives of people halfway around the world today without going very far at all.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning. It's May 4th. I'm Keely Arthur in with meteorologist Chris Reese, and we're drinking our coffees because it's pretty early.
It is pretty early, and I stayed up late. 3 cups of coffee in this thing.
And you said you were burning yourself on this. Mine's already kind of cold.
Well, see, I made this about half an hour ago, and this thing is just keeping it really warm.
This is like the ad for
your meteorologist cup. That's right.
So. Do we need hot coffee though? Not really today.
Honestly, no. It's a quiet weather week, which is why I was able to indulge in staying up a little bit later, but I'm still needing that coffee this morning. Here's the deal though. We've got really clear skies outside right now. The weather's going to be quiet for the most part as we go through today. Temperatures have fallen though because of the clear skies. So here we are at 35 degrees and temperatures are going to drop a couple more degrees as we go through about the next 2 hours or so. Winds are calm. Look at Waukesha, already down towards the freezing mark. Some folks likely going to go below freezing. Wautoma also at 32. We're a little bit warmer back towards the south and west. That's just because a southwesterly wind is starting to take over early for our friends in that direction. That's as high pressure starts to slide towards the south and east just a little bit. But this high pressure will keep the sunshine around for today and perhaps into the first half of Sunday as well. And it's going to be sending those temperatures in the positive direction. So we're talking upper 60s for those highs today, combined with plenty of sunshine as well. We're talking a beautiful Saturday. You don't want to miss it, honestly.
So exciting to finally have the spring weather we've been waiting for.
Yes, and you want to enjoy it because those rain chances come back next week too.
A lot of people very happy with you today, Chris. Thank you so much.
I'll take it.
Well, we have good news for Wisconsin fishermen and women this weekend. Today is the first day you will be able to fish on inland lakes in Wisconsin. The DNR says most northern lakes will be ice-free for the season opener. Don't forget, if you're gearing up for fishing season, you will need a fishing license, which you can buy online. Down in Rock County, if you worked at the former GM plant or are just hoping to get your hands on a piece of Janesville history, today's the day. The Janesville Gazette reports at least 2,500 bricks will be given away at the Black Hawk Community Credit Union through the afternoon. Now, each person is limited to 2 bricks. The address for the pickup location is right there on your screen. Volunteers expect to be there until at least 4 p.m., but that all depends on just how many bricks they're able to gather and how many people show up. If you can't make it today, they say there is a good chance of a second distribution date in the future. Well, back in Madison, you will soon be able to grab a beer with your burrito at the State Street Taco Bell Cantina. This comes after a city council meeting this week where alders approved an agreement to allow the restaurant to serve beer and wine until 10 o'clock at night. In 2017, the council approved a license for the location, but it was later vetoed by then Mayor Paul Soglin. There were 2 failed attempts to override that veto, but last week, new Mayor Sacha Rhodes Conway and other council members introduced a resolution to end that dispute. Madison is now the largest school district in the country with a plan to use 100% renewable energy. The school board adopted a resolution this week for the district to use 100% renewable energy by 2040. 2 months ago, students started circulating a petition calling for the board to implement a plan in order to use entirely renewable energy. Changes are needed in some school facilities, though, which could be brought to referendum next year. Madison will also be the first district in the state to adopt this kind of plan. A Rock County School District is asking for your help in preventing vaping among their students. The Janesville Gazette reports results from the Youth Risk Behavior Survey show nearly 1/4 of Milton High School students used a vape device or e-cigarette in just the last 30 days. This is above the state average. Now, the Milton School District is looking for volunteers to help restart the Milton Youth Coalition to help address this issue. The Milton School District has also applied for a grant to pay for a drug abuse coordinator to focus on youth substance abuse. Here's another reason to sit down and go over finances with your teenagers. Teen credit card use is on the rise. A new study by creditcards.com shows 18% of children from 8 to 14 were carrying their parents' credit cards in 2017. That's up 4% from 2012. Now, 6 million parents say they have a child under 18 with a credit card. Of those surveyed, some 21% of parents also reported their kids have used plastic without their permission. And half of that group said it happened multiple times. Finance officials say it's a good idea for parents to help their kids build credit over time, but it's also very important to inform them about the pitfalls of overspending. Now, we understand the irony here, but it's screen-free week. So after the show, of course, consider turning off your TV, especially if you're a parent. The World Health Organization says recently released new guidelines for how much screen time your kids should have a day. Now, kids younger than 18 months should have no screen time unless it's FaceTiming grandparents. Until kids are 5, they should only have 1 hour a day. Now, once they're 6 years old, pediatricians still say you should limit the amount of screen time they're staring at out of concern that it could interfere with their development.
Pediatricians, we see what happens to children over a long period of time. So we can see that children who have large amounts of screen usage early in life, we can see the behavior problems, the attention issues, the learning problems that ensue.
Dr. Navsiria says it is okay to let some screen time keep your kid company so you can do things like take a shower or do the dishes, but overall, any media they are consuming should be done with you. This helps them understand what they are seeing and how it relates to the world around them. Well, here's something us Madisonians already know. Madison is a great place to live, and now a growing number of millennials are moving in. That's according to a new report by Fox News Business. It ranked the top cities in the country where our generation is moving, and Madison was at the top of the list. The numbers are based on the share of millennial residents among recent movers, as well as median income. Also on the list, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Seattle, and Durham, North Carolina. Maybe you want to use some time this weekend to plan a weekend getaway. A new report by CNBC shows we have plenty of time off to use, but only 28% of Americans plan to max out their vacation days this year. And 1 in 10 of us plans to take less than a quarter of our days off. Now, experts say that's not enough time away, and they say you should be taking advantage of your time off since you could be leaving money on the table or even putting your health at risk. Psychologists say vacations can help alleviate burnout while also making workers more resilient and able to cope with stress on the job. Well, if you're like most people, you probably just replace a broken or worn out appliance rather than getting it repaired. While manufacturers may like that, our landfills do not. Now, last year alone, Madisonians threw out over 326 tons of electronics. We've become a throwaway society, but it wasn't always that way. People used to get their things fixed. The problem these days is finding someone to fix an appliance or lamp. Enter Kiefer Appliance on Monona Drive. Now, Wayne's been in the repair business for decades, and his son Kip has now taken over the reins. This shop is the only one like it in the upper Midwest, so customers ship things from all over the country, and they say the internet is helping keep the store open.
If we didn't have the mail, we'd be in trouble.
So there's a need.
Oh, there's a need, yeah. But like I say, if we could get parts, we could fix a lot more things. But we just can't get the parts.
Wayne says the customer base trends a bit older, mostly people who are used to getting something fixed rather than tossing it out. Now you can learn more about Kiefer's business and how we can help our planet by getting things fixed on our website, channel3000.com. Today, there's an opportunity for brain tumor patients of all ages, their family members and friends to have some questions answered. Brain tumors across the spectrum. Their providers serve more than 1,200 brain tumor patients each year. Now, the program runs from 8:30 until 12:45 at University Hospital's Health Learning Center. You can register for that online. Well, more local news now. The Mount Horeb community is asking for your help this morning in raising awareness and money for a cause most of us take for granted: fresh drinking water. It's the town's annual Walk for Water. Every day, millions of women and children in developing countries walk an average of 3 miles just to get enough water to help their family make it through the day. Most of the time, the water they bring back to drink and cook with is from an open water source and contaminated. The walking part of today's race simulates the trek many people make every day in developing countries. Walkers will start with an empty bucket, and then halfway through, they'll fill the bucket with water from Stewart Lake and walk back with the heavier load.
People take it for granted here, and in those developing countries, there just isn't that water source close by. So often they have to walk several miles to an open water source, which is typically a river, and that's where the cattle graze, that's where they wash their clothes, that's where they clean themselves. That's the water they bring back for their daily needs.
New this year, there's also a 5K course. Don't worry, runners, you won't have to carry a heavy bucket while running. That race kicks off at 10 a.m. at Grundle Park. The number of CrossFit gyms has boomed from just 13 in 2005 to more than 7,000 today. And with the CrossFit Games taking place right here in Madison, athletes are getting ready. Anyone can try out for the games, and this year Brandon Arndt came out on top in a special subcategory. He's the fittest nurse in America. He works the emergency room at SSM Health St. Mary's. So on top of his full-time job that consists of long hours on his feet, the 27-year-old is logging long hours at the gym.
It is tiring working a 12-hour shift. I definitely don't work out after a shift. I work out before a shift. If anything, it energizes me. It gives those endorphins, that dopamine, quick spike before I go into work, so I'm feeling really good.
Brandon says pushing himself in the gym and the mentality of never giving up also pays off in his work life. The 2019 CrossFit Games run July 29th through August 4th. The Milwaukee Bucks are back on track in their series against the Boston Celtics. After a win last night, they've taken a 2-1 lead in the series. Giannis set the pace for the Bucks with 32 points, 13 rebounds and 8 assists. It's the first time the Greek Freak has broken 30 in this series. Now, George Hill also turned in his best game of the playoffs with 21 points. Boston's Kyrie Irving continued to struggle for Boston, finishing with a team-high 29 points, but he made just 8 of his 22 attempts. Bucks win 123-116. They'll stay in Boston for Game 4, which is Monday night at 6. Well, the sun is finally out. Our Chris Reese will be back with a check of your weather, and you're taking a live look over the Capitol. Stay with us.
Welcome to the weekend, folks, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend at that. There are some minor rain chances, but I do think most of us are going to stay dry as we go through the next 2 days as a whole. It's a beautiful day to start things out. This is a live look from our station camera, pinks and blues on the horizon. You can even see the Capitol right now from the station camera. Again, just a beautiful day that we are beginning to start things out with. High resolution Doppler is completely clear of any kind of rain or snow. What you're seeing up near La Crosse, that's just a false radar return. For the most part, things are really good across south central Wisconsin. Now, we have seen at least some showers over the past couple hours, mainly across the northern part of the state. A lot of that, though, is running into drier air. So because of that, any type of rain chance that has come our way has really fallen apart last minute. That's all thanks to high pressure that is directly on top of us right now. That's also pushing that boundary that's kept those waves of low pressure moving in all week farther towards the south. So down near Kentucky, of course, it's Derby Day. They're going to be dealing with the heavy rain. But for us, we're going to see more sunshine as we await the next front back across the north to impact our weather as we move into your Sunday. In the meantime, temperatures are pretty chilly out. 35 right now in Madison. The winds are calm and the skies are clear thanks to that high pressure overhead. That's what's really allowing those temperatures to bottom out, especially as you're a bit closer towards the lakeshore where you haven't gotten the southwesterly wind to start to return yet. 34 in Sheboygan right now, Waukesha at 32, even Watertown at 33 as we speak. But we're going to warm up, especially as we move into the afternoon. Here we are at lunchtime. Temperatures are already going to be in the low 60s at that point, folks. Again, that's with sunshine, so it's going to be nice. 68 for your highs this afternoon. We do have the slight chance of a shower in the forecast later. The RPM model has been picking up on that chance, especially west of Madison. And that's just due to daytime heating. We'll watch that, but I do think most folks are going to stay dry. Dry overnight as well with lows in the mid-40s. And then the cloud cover starts to increase on Sunday. Watch what happens as we move into Sunday afternoon. This right now, Sunday at 10:30. Temperatures already in the 60s. We'll top out around 70, but then you start to see those chances to rain moving into the forecast, and we enter into a pattern that then has several chances for rain at that. By the time we go through the next 7 days, it's possible that we'll see anywhere from 2 to 3, perhaps even upwards of 4 inches of rain in some spots, especially across south central Wisconsin and throughout northern Illinois. We'll watch that for the high water threat, but the bright side is that the weekends are the pick days of the forecast right now.
Yeah, we'll focus on the sun right now, Chris. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, Craft Beer Week wraps up this weekend here in Madison, and this year beer makers and consumers are celebrating the growing number of women in the industry. Women are still way in the minority in this line of work. Recent studies show women drink about a third of beer in the U.S., but only 4% of brewmasters are female.
Anytime that industries are dominated by a certain group of people and we're not reflecting the fullness of the diversity of society, we're missing out on the opportunities of what that segment of industry has to offer.
If you want to support the women doing great things in the food and drink industries here in Madison, Giant Jones is hosting a 3-course beer brunch tomorrow. Sounds good. Everything served there will be made by female-run businesses. You can find more information on our website, channel3000.com. Well, going out with a big bang, America's favorite comedy is about to end. What the cast is doing to celebrate. And we can now tell you how to get to Sesame Street, which, as it turns out, is just a plane ride away. We take a look at what's trending next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Taking a look at what's trending this morning, the 2019 Tony Awards nominations were announced this week. Leading the pack with 14 nominations is Hadestown, the musical. Intertwines the myths of Orpheus and Eurydice and Hades. Following the Hadestown in total nominations is the jukebox musical Ain't Too Proud, built around songs from The Temptations. That show received a dozen nominations. Stage adaptations from the hit movies Tootsie and Beetlejuice are both up for Best Musical. You can catch the Tony Awards June 9th right here on CBS. James Corden is hosting this year. One of New York City's busiest streets has a new name, though it's probably only temporary. Mayor Bill de Blasio has renamed 63rd Street at the corner of Broadway Sesame Street. He made the announcement this week with the help of Big Bird and other cast and crew members of the Sesame Street show. It's all to honor the show's 50th anniversary later this week.
E may be for Ernie, B for Bert, and G for Grover. But today is about the letter S. S is for smiles. And I bet even Oscar the Grouch is smiling now. Right on cue.
Elmo, Big Bird, and the Muppets are leaving Sesame Street for a 10-city road trip this summer to mark the 50th anniversary. Sesame Street's 50th season premieres in November with a star-studded primetime special. The hit TV show The Big Bang Theory is going out with one final bang. This week, the cast filmed the series finale, ending the 12-season run of one of Hollywood's most popular comedies. Then, in celebration, they sunk their hands into the cement at the TCL Chinese Theater. The Big Bang Theory has been television's most watched comedy since 2010. The show has won 10 Emmy Awards, including 4 of them for lead actor Jim Parsons. The show's finale episode number 279 is scheduled to air May 16th right here on CBS. Now, there's much ahead on News 3 Now this Saturday morning. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including how much time your kids should really be spending in front of their screens. And you can get your hands on a piece of Janesville history today, where to pick up a former GM brick plant. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. Right now, same language, same culture, same cancer. How one community is setting aside their differences and coming together to fight against a common enemy. Good morning.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, it's May 4th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check on your weather with Chris in just a second, but first let's get you caught up on today's headlines. If you worked at the former GM plant or are just hoping to get your hands on a piece of Janesville history, today's the day. The Janesville Gazette reports at least 2,500 bricks will be given away at the Black Hawk Community Credit Union this afternoon. Now, each person is limited to 2 bricks. We put the address for the pickup location on our website, channel3000.com. Volunteers expect to be there until at least 4 p.m., but that all depends on just how many bricks they're able to gather and how many people show up. We're nearing the end of Screen-Free Week, and the World Health Organization recently released new guidelines for how much screen time your kids should have each day. Kids younger than 18 months should have no screen time unless it's FaceTiming with grandparents. Until kids are 5, they should only have 1 hour a day. Once they're 6 years old, pediatricians still say you should limit the amount of time they're staring at their screens out of concern that it could interfere with their development. Teen credit card use is on the rise. A new study by creditcards.com shows 18% of children from 8 to 14 were carrying their parents' credit cards in 2017. That's up 4% from 2012. 6 million parents say they have a child under 18 with a credit card. Finance officials say it's a good idea for parents to help their kids build credit over time, but it's also important to inform them about being responsible. And Madison is topping the list of cities where millennials want to move. That's according to a new report by Fox News Business. The numbers are based on the share of millennial residents among recent movers, as well as the median income. Also on the list, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Seattle, and Durham, North Carolina. And switching over to a gorgeous day in Madison, Chris Reese joins us now.
That's right, and Madison is a gorgeous place to move at that. We have a beautiful sunrise taking shape right now, the pastel colors on the horizon. You can actually see Lake Monona in the distance as well, and the Capitol. Again, this is looking from our station camera. Temperatures, though, a little bit chilly on the eastern half of the state. 35 in Madison, Waukesha at 32, Wautoma at 32, and then Watertown 1 degree above freezing. Now, as you look back towards the west, that's where those temperatures are just a little bit warmer. We're starting to see some 40s coming back into the picture. That's because our friends there are getting in on a little bit of a southwesterly wind. That's as high pressure starts to slide towards the south and east, winds moving clockwise around that region of high pressure, but because it's nearby, that's going to help to keep things dry for us today and warmer. We're talking temperatures that'll be topping out to the upper 60s, combined with plenty of sunshine going throughout your day, though we can't rule out an isolated shower later on. Most of us, Keely, will be very dry for your Saturday.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. It's no secret we're living in politically divisive times. That's why CBS launched its More Perfect Union series to show us that what unites us is far greater than what divides us. This morning, Adriana Diaz shows us how one woman in Philadelphia is bringing people together to fight cancer in an often overlooked community.
Once a month, in the mostly Latino neighborhood of North Philadelphia, laughter echoes from a community center, where dozens gather over their shared language, culture, and a shared adversary, cancer.
When you hear that you have cancer, it's like physically your ears turn off.
And that's even harder when you don't speak English well.
Yes. Información.
To overcome language and cultural barriers for Latino cancer patients,
Un camino a seguir.
social worker Marla Vega started a group that provides English-speaking appointment companions and a support network that's more of a sisterhood.
Una familia, he tenido hermanas.
So you're all sisters.
Sí.
It gives the confidence. They don't feel lonely. They have someone to depend on.
It's called Grupo Morivivi, named for the so-called Touch Me Not plant, common in the Caribbean.
When you touch it, it closes up and it looks like it's dead, but then After several seconds, it opened up again to life.
Para Philadelphia, Luz Oquendo, who had breast cancer, used to belong to an English-speaking cancer group.
No había esa química entre todos. You didn't always have that chemistry. You felt like you missed out on information that may have helped you.
Yeah, muy cierto. She says her poor command of English also made it harder to find the emotional support she needed to face her depression.
Me siento como en familia. You feel like you're with family. You feel supported here.
Marla says that family grows every meeting.
We're going to be talking a lot about poop today,
which include lessons to promote health awareness.
La caca.
So let's not be embarrassed.
The group proactively finds women in need. Volunteers signed Olinda Posada up for a free mammogram. She hadn't had one in 7 years.
That's when they did the biopsy. See.
Olinda says this is the first time she's ever cried over her cancer, even through chemo and radiation.
It was because of Maria and Marla that you found out that you had cancer. Because they spoke to you that day you were at the health center.
She says they've been by her side since that day, at appointments and group meetings, helping her navigate her life's new course.
Wow, debe ser muy fuerte.
Marta Carvajal first joined the group as a volunteer for their 2016 fundraiser. But roughly a year later, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
It's emotional thinking about what you observed them going through that you're now going through.
Now in remission, Marta still lives with the lingering worry it'll come back. She says knowing her adopted sisters share that fear helps her through it.
Que nunca me he sentido sola.
You've never felt alone.
Nunca. Pues yo tengo un agradecimiento.
You feel so thankful to have Marla, who has helped you navigate this whole process.
Gracias, Marta.
You've been doing this for how long now?
4 years and a half.
4.5 years. Have you lost any members?
No.
Do you think this group has played a role in that?
Well, let me tell you something. When your time comes, it comes. No matter how positive you are, we all gonna die. But if you could improve the quality of life and make people happier and empowered, that doesn't have a price.
And like the Mori Vivi plant it's named after,
50 años.
This group thrives because of its resilience.
There's a lot of happiness in this room.
Oh, yeah.
Adriana Diaz, Philadelphia.
Looking for something to do this weekend? We've got your family covered. From a pair of movie-based events perfect for kids of all ages and Star Wars fans too, to a date night idea. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning.
Well, folks, it's going to be a beautiful weekend and really a beautiful start to the day as well. Even though I can't rule out the chance of a shower, most of us should be dry. We've got clear skies out there right now. Temperatures are right around 35 here in Madison. Cooler as you work your way over towards the lake shore. That's where some folks are down near the freezing mark. But folks, as we go throughout the rest of today, expect those temperatures to warm up into the upper 60s. And as you work your way towards the west of Madison, again, I can't rule out that chance of an isolated shower later on.
Well, it is a gorgeous weekend in the 608.
That's right, Keely, and here's a look at what's going on around the Madison area.
Let's start with a little family fun. Imagine a land made of chocolate rivers and candy everything. Well, you can go there this weekend at the Overture Center for the Willy Wonka production. There are shows both today at 2:30 and 7 and tomorrow at 2:30. The fun continues next weekend too. Showgoers will enter a world of pure imagination. The show is perfect for the whole family.
Come with me and you will be. All right, there's another event based off of a popular movie for kids and kids of all ages. How about that May 4th? It lands on May 4th, which is a Saturday, and the Children's Museum can celebrate the Star Wars themed holiday with the May the 4th Be With You event. Grab the kids, the lightsabers, masks, and capes, and head to the museum for a museum-wide event. Celebrate by meeting R2-D2, joining an Empire versus Rebel scavenger hunt, and then there's a Lego Star Wars exhibit by the Wisconsin Lego Users Group. That fun runs from 10 until 4:30.
All right, Tex Tubbs Taco Palace is also getting into the Star Wars Day spirit, releasing 4 beers inspired by the franchise. It's hosting the Star Wars Days Tap Takeover, featuring Hop House's Lightsaber Lager, Working Draft Beer Company's Dark Side Hazy IPA, Vintage Brewing Company's Revenge of the Pith, and It's a Trap, a Belgian Trappist-style ale brewed by Milwaukee's Dead Bird Brewing and Lake Mills Sunshine Brewing Company. All are available today.
And if you're looking for a grown-ups night out, because quite frankly, we get it, Madison Symphony Orchestra performs Symphony of 1000 at Overture Hall. There are 2 more shows this weekend. Those are tonight at 8 and tomorrow at 2:30. More than 400 musicians will perform in all as the orchestra welcomes 3 choirs as well.
So much to do this weekend, and
Yeah.
you can get this month's Madison magazine for all the best that Madison has to offer. And we swapped last weekend's snow for sun. That's something farmer market vendors and shoppers are probably really happy about.
Yeah, seriously, it's about time. We've had a nice Saturday, and you're looking live over the Capitol right now. I'll have your full forecast next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
But first, let's take a look at who's 3 today. Happy birthday to Eliana and all the other little kids turning 3 today. What a cutie pie.
Look who's
Good Saturday morning, folks. A beautiful sunrise taking shape over the horizon as we speak, and it is going to be more of a beautiful day as we go throughout your Saturday. We've watched radar overnight. There have been some showers that tried to work their way in, but folks, they didn't quite make it. We actually have high pressure overhead that's working to keep things dry for us here in south central Wisconsin. And as it works its way towards the south and east, we start to get in on a clockwise wind flow around that high. That means winds are going to start turning out of the south and west, folks, and that does mean warmer temperatures are on the way as we go throughout today. But we're starting things out on a very chilly note. 35 right now. On the bright side, winds are actually calm at the moment, so there's not really much of a wind chill or anything like that. Humidity at 96%, so there could be some patchy fog in some spots. But by 12 o'clock, we're going to see those temperatures back into the low 60s. We're going to warm up really well with that sunshine out there. 68 for highs as we move into this afternoon. I can't rule out the chance of a spotty shower, especially north and west of Madison. Say you're up near La Crosse or Viroqua. That's where the best chance of an isolated shower will be as we go throughout this evening. Now, overnight tonight, clear skies do return. Temperatures should likely fall into the upper 40s at that point. Then as we move into your Sunday, we're going to see those warmer temperatures, folks. This is Sunday at 10:30 in the morning, and temperatures are already near 62 degrees, topping out around 70 in the afternoon. But then watch how those shower chances really begin to ramp up, especially Sunday night and into your Monday. This is the start of a pattern that is going to feature more rain chances. Here's the deal. Our jet stream is really rocking and rolling, bringing in systems from the Pacific Ocean. So here's that next region of low pressure that's going to be moving into the country as we speak. It dives down across Texas and then rides the jet stream towards the Great Lakes. So watch how those rain chances really begin to increase this week. You're going to notice them beginning across the south and then really blossoming up towards the upper Midwest as that region of low pressure begins to intensify. I think our wettest days are likely going to be Wednesday and into Thursday. The good news is there are signs that as we get towards the weekend, this overall setup begins to shift a little bit farther towards the south and east. That actually sets things up for a little bit drier of a forecast by next weekend for us. But in the meantime, we're really focusing on an axis of heavy rain between now and Friday, where we could see 2 to 3 inches of rain across southern Wisconsin on a ground that has truly been saturated as we have gone through this winter and this spring. So, of course, that's not what we need, but at least it keeps the grass green and the ground lush as a whole. But multiple rain chances, those will keep temperatures below average as we go through the next 7 to 10 days. Here's your pet walk, though. Bella enjoying the Easter day sun, and we will be enjoying this Saturday sun as we go through the rest of today and even early tomorrow.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be looking like Bella today, just like basking in the sun.
You know, that might be me once I get some sleep later on after this.
Same here.
No.
Well, we've been asking you to share your morning with us. Jeffrey Ludolph emailed us this picture, turkeys on Whitney Way. I'm not a big fan of turkeys, so this kind of freaks me out.
I know, we were just talking before we got to this, how I said I'm afraid to go to the Arboretum because I know there's so many turkey that just walk around loose, and I don't know. It's just, it's a bird. Surely
Yeah.
I could take a bird, but I always feel like I'd be the one person who's on the news, who becomes the news for getting attacked by a turkey.
I will
at the
report
Arboretum.
on that.
All right.
All right.
I was like, I'll give you the tip, Keely.
Thank you. Well, what does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to Channel 3000's Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3 this morning. We'll share our favorites right here on News 3. Now stick with us. News 3 is here all day long, but first this morning, putting girl power on wheels, we'll introduce you to the group working to change the way the sport of skateboarding sees women. This is more on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. Skateboards are common in the famed Venice neighborhood of Los Angeles, but women on skateboards, not so much.
Well, Jamie Yukas went for a ride to introduce us to a skateboard group that puts the idea of girl power on wheels.
It may not look like it, but these women are on their way to a board meeting. And yes, that pun is intentional.
Is that our girl swirl thing now?
They call themselves Girl Swirl, and their mission is simple: change the way the sport of skateboarding sees women.
Dude, can we do Kippy's parking lot again? That
Yeah,
was so
I love
fun.
it there. Yeah.
And vice versa.
I met with a photographer this morning.
It all started about a year ago on the bike paths and side alleys of Venice, California, the mecca of male-dominated skateboard culture.
I was on the Venice boardwalk, and as a woman without a skateboard, it is a very intense place. You have just a lot of catcalls and it's not very comfortable. It's so tight.
Growing up, Lucy Osinski always felt empowered when she rode a skateboard, but she also felt alone.
I was addicted to it, but I just didn't feel supported in the same way that I wish I was. So I started skating with another girl.
That one other girl turned into 3 other girls.
I'm Julia.
Including Julia Gadges Ama.
Those 3 other girls knew 4 other girls, and long story short, they said, hey, how fun would it be if we got everybody together to skate at once?
They ended up with 9 women in the group, and they knew they needed a name.
I felt like we were all like an ice cream swirl, like there was different colors and ages and types of people, and we were just swirling together. And I just said Girl Swirl. Yeah, Tobes.
At first, they stayed in touch informally with text messages.
Good.
But Mariah Marquez says they quickly outgrew that.
And we went to Instagram, and that just kind of exploded overnight with other girls being stoked on it.
It's not just like a few other girls stoked on it, though. There's almost 50,000 Instagram followers.
I know. It blows my mind every day.
Girl power is real. You got this. Look at this.
But it's not just online. Twice a month, Girl Swirl hosts a group skate in Venice where dozens of women show up, many for their very first time on wheels.
We never actually know how many girls are going to show up to each group skate, and we're constantly blown away by the girls that do show up. To feel safe as a woman and for us to have created that space is, I think, I don't know, that's what I love the most. Most of these girls are in the Venice area. The fact that we were all within a couple mile radius and didn't know about each other, and now we've just come together. It's just, it's amazing.
The group attracts all ages, from grown women to the youngest, 5-year-old Penny Pollard.
How fast do you think you can go on the skateboard?
Pretty fast.
Pretty fast?
If Penny could do it,
Your shoulders and your eyes are your steering wheel.
there's no way I could resist.
Okay, now how do I stop? You don't have to rip. You don't have to do tricks. We're just asking to kick push. We're there to support you in it. The whole idea is we're trying to make this less intimidating for women. When you're a woman alone on a skateboard, it's very different when you're a woman together with all these other people. You really create girl power. Girl power is real. You can change things in your community.
What's up, Girl Swirl?
That community is now global. The group has gotten messages from women as far away as Italy and Dubai, all wanting to start chapters of their own. And now, Girl Swirl even has the ultimate symbol of skater cred. A board of its own, built by iconic skateboard brand Carver.
Only pro athletes get their own skateboards, so the fact that our group is getting to launch one with them is amazing.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But not nearly as beautiful as a sunset skate along the Venice boardwalk. Possible only because of 9 women determined to get everyone else on board. Jamie Yukas, Los Angeles.
All right, we're going to continue to see beautiful weather as we go throughout your Saturday. Temperatures are going to top out into the upper 60s. I cannot rule out the isolated chance of a shower, mainly north and west of Madison. 70 for Sunday and Monday.
All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again here at 8.